The hikayat is an important form of early Malay literature used to preserve and transmit indigenous myths and legacies of heroes. These were stories that were read aloud by kings, warriors, poets, and common folk to each other who listened in awe to epics about past kings and rulers.
One of the most well-known of these hikayats, however, celebrates not a king or prince, but a loyal subject as its hero. Hang Tuah's voyages to the port polities of Aceh in North Sumatra, to Jeddah on the Arabian Peninsula, and to Egypt in North Africa also allude to the desire of these Malay kingdoms to establish links to more illustrious kingdoms in other parts of the world.
Could the first person to circumnavigate the globe be a Malay man? This historical novel by Harun Aminur Rashid is based on the expedition undertaken by Ferdinand Magellan, a Portuguese-born explorer in the 16th century, where he attempts to be the first person to travel around the world. However, Magellan met an untimely end in the Philippines, while his Malacca-born slave Panglima Awang is thought to have survived and departed for their initial point of departure in Malacca. If so, it would make Panglima Awang the first person to have circumnavigated the globe.
By framing a Malay slave as its hero, the novel undercuts a tale of exploration as a justification for European colonialism, and instead takes a nod towards the fascinating tradition of the hikayat and the legend of Hang Tuah. During a 1997 United Nations meeting, the then Prime Minister of Malaysia, Dr. Mahathir Mohamad, recounted the tale of Panglima Awang to an international audience. By doing so, he transformed a little-known literary figure into a hero of almost mythical qualities. The map that you see in this gallery is of the port of Malacca in the 1600s, soon after the Portuguese sacked the city, and when it was believed that Panglima Awang had been taken and indentured by Magellan. While the legends of past Malay kings and heroes as they are depicted in classical Malay texts invite us to relook the way Singapore's ancient past has been written, the characters and significance of historical figures from Singapore's more recent past is definitely more complex and up for further interpretation. Tengku Hussein Shah was the prince who was installed by Raffles in 1819 as a means by which the British could establish a presence in this region to counter Dutch influence. The seal that you see on display in this gallery, however, predates the signing of the Treaty of Singapore. It is from 1810 and details out Sultan Hussein Shah and family lineage. Just like how Sang Nila Utama's mahkota or crown embodies his royal authority, so too does this seal, and how it helps link Sultan Hussein's royal authority with a more ancient lineage of kings of Singapura.
From the shadowy world of wayang kulit to the epic legends from the Sejarah Melayu and other Malay classical texts, there is such a rich history of fantastic beasts and heroes with their own stories to tell. We have seen how history can be embedded within such stories and how such stories can unravel worlds which we never realized were there.
Fortunately, Singapore's many historical and cultural links to these worlds have been preserved and continues to be transmitted through the folk tales, the oral histories, as well as the cultural heritage of the Malays. At the same time, they are also embedded in the literary manuscripts, in the artifacts and archival documents that can be found not only on the Malay Peninsula but across the larger archipelago. In fact, many of these artifacts and material culture is currently on display at the Malay Heritage Centre. As promised, we have introduced you to a world of fantastical beasts and heroes. Now all you have to do is take a closer look.